Imagine a world where strength isn't just big muscles, where courage isn't just a fleeting moment of daring, and leadership isn't confined to just a few. Today, I want to take you on a journey to discover the true meaning of masculinity and how modern media has tarnished its reputation. The other day, I was mindlessly scrolling through TikTok, watching videos of sports, funny pranks, and random people dancing. Then, a video by Andrew Tate caught my attention. Obviously, we've all heard of him, that rich bald guy on social media who always asks you for the color of your Bugatti. In the video, he talks about the importance of aggression and dominance. That, he said, is what it took to be a real man. However, nothing sat well with me. He seemed to be encouraging toxic masculinity, an attitude that puts men on a pedestal and degrades women. This wasn't the right message to spread. Was that what it meant to be a man? I began to question myself. Maybe I wasn't strong enough, tough enough, or manly enough. Maybe I needed to be more forceful and assertive to achieve what I wanted in life. But then, I remember all the people in my life who had shown me kindness and empathy, who had encouraged me to be myself and never judge others. People like my friends, family, and mentors, who treated me with kindness and empathy no matter what challenges I faced. They were always there for me and would always try to make me feel better in their own ways. They didn't need to be aggressive or dominant to be respected, and neither did I. I realized that there were many ways to be masculine, and being aggressive and dominant was just an extreme and amplified version of them. Putting my phone down, I felt relieved and empowered, as I gained a newfound sense of confidence. I knew that being a man meant being true to yourself and standing up for what you believe in, rather than conforming to the standards of toxic masculinity. And from that day forward, I've tried my best to be respectful and kind towards others, and not let toxic masculinity from modern media influence the way I act. The personal recount I just shared is not just about me. It applies to our society as a whole, and what young individuals like myself are being exposed to on a daily basis. The modern media has wielded immense power in shaping our perceptions, painting masculinity with broad strokes that often miss the minute details of its benefits. Due to the effects of modern media, masculinity has been misunderstood and misused. But in reality, masculinity can be a powerful force for good in our lives and in society. But what is masculinity really? Masculinity is not simply about being a man or exhibiting stereotypical manly traits like aggression or dominance. Instead, masculinity is about embodying qualities such as strength, courage, resilience, and leadership, regardless of gender. For example, a woman may embody traits typically associated with masculinity, such as assertiveness and leadership, without being a man. Unfortunately, these qualities have been replaced by toxic masculinity, a destructive and harmful version of masculinity that promotes violence, misogyny, and homophobia. Toxic masculinity is not true masculinity, and it's essential that we distinguish between the two. So, what is the power of true masculinity? True masculinity is about using our strength to protect and serve, rather than to harm and dominate. It is about showing empathy and compassion, rather than dismissing emotions as weakness. And it is about working towards a more equitable and just society, rather than clinging to outdated and harmful gender roles and stereotypes. Masculinity, when channeled in positive ways, can bring about significant change. There are many examples of this in history, where ones who embodied true masculinity have been agents of great change. One such example being a woman called Rosa Parks, who we all know like the back of our hands, unless you haven't been paying attention during IP2 FH lessons. Rosa Parks is known for a pivotal role in the civil rights movement, particularly for her refusal to give up her seat on the Montgomery, Alabama bus. Rosa Parks embodied true masculinity, displaying courage, strength, and assertiveness to stand against racial segregation and inspired countless individuals to join the fight for racial justice in America, which ultimately led to racial equality in America. This just shows that anyone can use masculinity for good, regardless of their gender. People like her embody qualities like courage, integrity, and empathy, which allowed them to create long-lasting positive change in the world. But the power of masculinity is just limited to historical figures. Think about the firefighters who rush into burning buildings, not because they are invincible, but because their commitment to protecting lives is unyielding. Consider the single mothers who show strength and courage when faced with adversity, demonstrating that masculinity is not limited by gender. Think about the leaders who don't just bark orders, but listen intently, recognizing that true strength lies in collaboration and empathy. Each and every one of us has the ability to embody these qualities in our daily lives. We can be leaders in our communities, whether it be as student leaders, teachers, or activists, showing strength and resilience in the face of adversity. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: the media's role in tarnishing masculinity's reputation. We've all seen it before, the action hero who solves every problem with violence, the reality TV shows glorifying toxic competition, and the advertisements that reinforce rigid gender stereotypes. These portrayals have contributed to a distorted understanding of masculinity, causing young minds to question their true potential. But we can't merely blame the media, as we are the ones choosing to be influenced by them. We've let ourselves be drawn into sensationalism, forgetting that real power lies not in such superficial displays of dominance, but in the subtle yet impactful ways of compassion, resilience, and kindness. To embrace the true meaning of masculinity, we must start by questioning the narrative that we consume. We need to demand media that portrays men and all individuals as human beings, capable of strength and vulnerability, assertiveness and empathy. We need to inspire creators and online influencers to craft narratives that paint masculinity in a positive light. Moreover, we need to redefine our perception of strength, challenging the notion that masculinity is confined to one-size-fits-all stereotypes. Strength is found in acknowledging our weaknesses, facing our fears, and lifting each other up, regardless of gender. It's about recognizing that true power lies not in suppressing others, but in uplifting them. In conclusion, as we redefine the true meaning of masculinity, let's not forget that true masculinity lies not in tearing down, but in building up, not in dominance, but in compassion, not in isolation, but in connection. Let's come together in order to craft a legacy of masculinity that future generations will admire.